Welcome to Big Daddy Sports. I'm your host, Big Daddy.
LB Jenkins.
We got Captain McShay back with us once again. Let's jump right in it. Has the league figured out Colin Kaepernick and the running quarterback?
They figured out how to stop the read option. These quarterbacks they're not complete. The read option quarterbacks are not complete quarterback. They can run, they can throw a little bit, but if you take away the run and they have to sit back and read a zone, all of a sudden you can see the whole game.
For me, it's the Tebow issue. Since I know he's gonna bring him up eventually anyway. The issue with Tebow is anticipating throws. The anticipation of he's gonna be there, this one, and I see RG3 doing it. I know he's a little behind because he didn't have the off season. Cap looked gun shy Sunday. Like, I don't know, should I let it go? I don't know if they coached him like, we used to coach Matt Leinart, don't throw a pick, because he looks just scared to throw a pick. And it's just like, you can't play like that.
Look, he tore up Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay's defense, of course.
Thank
you.
Green
Bay different. But you got to realize, he don't have his number one target, Crabtree, right now. Anquan Boldin, they had a good game against Green Bay, but they don't really have that chemistry here. Remember that Randy Moss was on this team last year.
You know what he's scared of? And this was holding him back. That Joe flick it out. Anquan Boldin always covered. Throw the ball. That's the problem.
Because Anquan getting separation. That's the big
He's
thing.
not getting separation, but he's open.
When they were torching Green Bay, they were moving him around, putting guys in motion, making it a lot easier for you.
But he was on linebackers a lot too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But they
made the matchup for him.
Creating those matchups, but now they're not doing it. They're just coming up to the line.
They're putting them out wide,
and then they're just going. And so it's a lot easier to cover.
But he's got to understand, there are certain receivers in the league. Dez Bryant, Anquan Boldin, Roddy White to some extent, Calvin Johnson. They can be covered, but they'll go get the ball.
Especially Calvin Johnson against the Dallas last year, was that 2 years ago when he just jumped up in triple coverage.
We're not even talking about the Cowboys. They're going to the Super Bowl this year. Get that through your thick skull. Are the Colts contenders now?
Like I said, they're dark horse contenders. They're not favorites. They're not, really in the race, in my opinion. But I could definitely see it happening. They can be.
Well, look, after Houston lost last week, they could be enough to take the division. They a wild card contender. They a playoff contender. They not no Super Bowl contender.
They not know. That is a great sentence.
They not know. That's double negative. That's how negative I am on them going to the Super Bowl. Not know.
Horrible. Anyways, if Denver was to slip up and Peyton do his annual choke job, I wouldn't be surprised if Indianapolis made it to the Super Bowl. Wouldn't pick them to win, but who in the AFC is... you're not scared of Cincinnati. You're not scared of the Ravens. You're not scared of the Patriots. If Miami steps up and takes the division, you're not scared of them. Kansas City is starting to scare people, but at the end of the day, your quarterback is still Alex Smith. And so, in the AFC, it's wide open. So I had to say, I like the dark horse terminology. They are. They could sneak in. I mean, we've seen... in the past few years, if you get hot late, Green Bay, Giants, Baltimore, you get hot at the right time, you can win the whole thing. And all of a sudden, Ahmad Bradshaw is motivated because they wanted somebody to take his job.
Trent Richardson.
So, should the league start taking the Dolphins seriously?
I told y'all last week, take them serious. Tannehill starting to put it all together, starting to look like somebody. That defense you can't name 3 players on that defense.
Okay, we got Cameron Wade. We got Missy, the linebacker.
See the linebacker.
I got none of that.
See, that's 2.
Is Stark still on that defensive line?
Can't name 3.
Is Stark still on the D-line? You don't even know. You don't even know.
That's what I'm saying. I just know they're
Philman, the coach, doesn't know. Look, I like what I see. I like the running game. They integrated Mike Wallace. The defense is playing.
Deion Jordan. There we go.
Who they just drafted.
But I can't honestly call them a serious team until I see them face the Patriots. I gotta see you face the Patriots.
Look, I like what I'm saying.
Lose, come close.
I like what I'm saying. I don't know if they can run the rock consistently, but they have talent at the running back position. Wide receivers are starting to figure it out. Brian Hartline is the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL.
Sure is.
I mean, he just finds a way to get it done. They're not great stats, but he's there when you need him. I like what they got going on.
Now last year I told him Hartline was a solid wide receiver. He ain't no weapon. That was the quote. He ain't no weapon.
Last year was Tannehill the real quarterback last year?
He was a rookie.
But exactly, he was a rookie who wasn't gonna get him the ball. This year, I like a quarterback who can take charge. That game-winning throw he had, he went to the line of scrimmage, didn't like the defense he saw. He audible and he called that play. He wouldn't have did that last year, and I understand but now he's getting it. He's taking ownership of the offense, and when you see that in a quarterback with his arm strength and his talent, if he can understand what's going on around him, that should be scary for the AFC East. All right, next we're gonna talk about these 0-3 teams, and if we was running them, how would you fix them? How would you fix the 0-3 Pittsburgh Steelers?
Blow them up, and the whole Steelers team, blow them up. There ain't nothing there. You got age, you got Big Ben. Blow them up. You got to start over. It's going to be a losing 3 or 4 seasons. You start over, and then you try to make your championship again.
3 or 4 seasons. That's 2 coaches. I just want to let you know that's 2 coaches right there.
How about that? Ron Rivera, just let me bring my guys in. You got guys that will stay.
If Ron Rivera don't get it right this year, somebody going, that's 2 coaches.
That's true.
How you fix the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I don't know if I say blow them up, but you definitely got to start integrating youth because that team is old and talentless. The talent they do have is old, but they need to start bringing in. Casey Hampton's gone. Their nose tackle is
non-existent.
Is a problem. You know, Brett Keithl's not going to be there forever. You know, they're adding Jarvis Jones. You know, so they're adding pieces here and there. They're adding pieces here.
He
and
got
there.
potential.
Dick LeBeau likes him. He thinks he's going to do something. And he took Worlds, who was the other starter. He's taking away time.
But Worlds wasn't.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. He was decent.
Look, let's just call it what it is. Pittsburgh needs to make moves to get some draft picks in there because they don't have cap room. They're going to be in salary cap hell when the year is over. So it's easier to get young guys with the new way the draft is slotted. You can afford them and you can bring them in and you can rebuild. They also got to start integrating the young talent they have. They got young wide receivers now that they don't play. I'm telling you right now, Emmanuel Sanders, bye, because he's going to walk in the offseason because they ain't going to pay him. He ain't that great no way. See if you can get something for him. The controversial one I'm fit to say is I see what I can get for Ben. Ben is my asset, and we got to start over. And I love Ben, and I know Steelers fans are going to be like, he's a Hall of Famer, he like Terry Bradshaw, blah, blah, blah. You held on to Terry Bradshaw too long, and you missed Dan Marino because of that crap. Don't let history repeat itself. Y'all going to have top 7, top 5 draft pick.
That's true.
I mean, I know you're going to try to milk 3-4 more years out of Big Ben, but at the end of the day, if you can move on and get you your version of what the Colts did, bring in a new franchise quarterback who we got for cheap for the first 3 years and see how it goes.
They're a proud franchise. They don't want to hit rock bottom. And you get rid of Ben, as bad as the team is now, you get rid of Ben, they're the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ooh. But sometimes you got to do that to get to where you want to go.
I agree.
I don't think Tomlin will last through that.
Tomlin's not going to last through that. Their GM's not going to last through that. There's going to be a lot of heads rolling, and nobody wants to be that guy.
This man just said 3 or 4 years. Yes, heads are going to roll.
I'm just saying.
But I'm saying if you're the Rooneys, you got to look at this like, look, we have an opportunity right now to move some guys, rebuild, keep that Steeler tradition, and just everybody has to start over at some point.
That's true.
If you're lucky, it'll be like the Colts and it'll be 1 year. But everybody has to start over. So
the Steelers never had to. Because even those down years, they weren't that bad. They dipped a little bit, but they were always able to right the ship again.
No, they started over. What is it? 2000, they went like 7-9.
Again, 7-9.
Watch. 2001, they made the playoffs. 2002, they made the playoffs. Then they dropped to like 6-10. They get bad. That's how they get the pick for Ben.
6-10. But what I'm saying is they didn't drop to 1-15, 2-14.
No.
They weren't historically bad.
That's Chuck Noll years they did. After the Mark Malone fiasco, they got that bad.
But again, how long did you have to go back to Chuck Noll? And what year was that? Like, were you alive?
Yes, I was alive.
Was that happening?
We were alive. Don't try to stop me.
No.
We were alive.
Listen, that was almost 30 years ago that they were bad.
No.
They were bad. So
bad consistently.
But I'm saying, they've had years, they did.
But that's what I'm saying. If you do it right, It only has to be a dip.
And that was always because they were always reloading behind. When they let Kevin Green go, when they let Chad Brown go, they always had, Jason Gilman. They always had a
look. They didn't let some people go, and then they don't. Larry Foote leaves and goes to Detroit. Now it's the same guy. He comes back. And then I'm just saying, when you look at it now, I can't keep playing Troy Polamalu for 8 games a year. Lawrence Timmons, while I like him a lot, is paid pretty well. Lamar Woodley ain't gonna have another year like he did his contract year. He don't seem to be that guy. So you gotta make tough decisions. Am I gonna keep Woodley at this price? Is he willing to restructure? Is Timmons willing to restructure for the team?
They love to. They'll let a guy go. They in a heartbeat. They let Pro Bowlers go all the time.
I don't see Kiesel being there next year. There's a lot of Steelers guys are gonna be gone. Next up, how you fix the Giants?
Blow them up. Look, that defense is horrible.
Just blow up every losing team in the league, right?
No, blow up the Giants. Coughlin, the defense. All y'all have is Eli Manning and Victor Cruz and Hakeem Nicks. Build around them.
I partially agree with you. At the skill position, they fine, but their offensive line is atrocious.
Yeah.
And again, it's the thing of teams don't keep guys to groom them anymore. You used to bring in the undrafted guy and be like, if we keep him on the practice squad for a year, he'll be able to step in and do something. We've gone away from that, and now your depth is depleted because of it. So they don't have those guys. They don't have the defensive line. That defensive line used to be 7, 8 deep. Now you're looking for anybody to make a play. They have no linebackers. They haven't had a middle linebacker worth salt since Antonio Pierce walked out the door. So I don't know what to do with them.
They need to add athleticism. You got to get better at the cornerbacks because those guys have been.
No, they haven't even been. They've been hot garbage.
Well, you got injuries usually what's plaguing them.
Corey Webster, Hakeem Nakamura, whatever Prince. Yeah. Aaron Ross came back. Well, look, when you're bad enough to Jacksonville cut you, Aaron Ross. Jacksonville let you go.
Well, Darryl Smith got let go by Jacksonville. He's doing all right in Baltimore.
Darryl Smith got let go as a cost reason.
They're not paying nobody, so couldn't make cost.
They cut Aaron Ross because you weren't good enough. Look, when Jacksonville cut you for talent, I'm just saying, the Vikings.
But no, put Matt Castle in. That's all. Simple fix. Put Matt Castle in. Start winning some games.
So they're gonna put Matt Castle in. They're gonna go 11-5 like the Patriots did in 08, right?
I didn't say all that. I'm saying 9-7. 9-7.
So you realize that if they go 9-7, what he got to go 9-4 now. Like his margin of error because they're 0-3 is slim. In that division where Chicago looked like they figured it out, Detroit seemed like they starting to get their head on right, and Green Bay fit to be pissed because they coming off an L they don't feel like they should have. In that division, I don't see it.
Okay, 8-8, better than what Ponder is.
Is 8-8 gonna keep Frazier's job?
Nah, he's out.
Look, Frazier ain't coaching. You remind me of a quarterback in Indianapolis, or a coach in Indianapolis that I named Jim Caldwell. Not coaching.
You remember?
Not coaching.
You remember that Jim Caldwell led that team to a Super Bowl, right?
Not coaching.
His opinion of Jim Caldwell is that he was Peyton's armor bearer, and all he was Peyton. He was
Your wife called Peyton. Your wife called. You like me to take a message?
He was an executive assistant.
Leslie Frazier just don't have that demeanor like you command excellence from your team.
He doesn't, but
wait, does John Harbaugh have a demeanor?
He has a ring.
He don't have a demeanor. I mean, look, yeah, you want your coach to be like Tomlin-esque. We'll wear this. It'll fit. You want that style.
We'll bring him hell in December.
But I mean, everybody's not like Tony Dungy wasn't like that.
Mark Trestman's not like that.
Mark Trestman's very laid back.
And he's done well. But for the Vikings, like we had spoken about this previously, the Barry Sanders effect where you might be feeding AP a little too much. Just run.
But wait, hold on. What other choice do they have?
I'm just saying.
Keep pounding the ball.
But you can't build an offense around.
I'm gonna tell you right now, what it really is first of all, they got to be able to go 3 wide, no fullback, and Adrian Peterson got to be able to catch the ball, except he can't catch and he fumbles. So, I mean, his attitude, he used to get mad when Chester Taylor was still there because they bring in Taylor on 3rd downs because he can catch. I mean, he hasn't gotten any better in that area. And so, you know, they can't do that anymore because Toby Gerhardt to me was a waste of a second-round pick. But that's a whole nother conversation. Anyway, fantasy picks. Sit Philly's offense. They will be playing in Denver this week. They will not be running that fast no huddle in the Mile High. I promise you that. Like RG3 versus Oakland's defense. Oakland's defense ain't stopping nobody, and RG3's figuring things out. And Kansas City's defense, if you ain't caught on yet, they pretty darn good. They got Houston, they got Dontari Poe, Derek Johnson, Eric Berry. They got playmakers everywhere.
Speaking of Kansas City, anybody on their offense play. They're playing against the New York Giants, who don't have a defense, as we just explained. Play anyone on Kansas City offense. Arizona is going to be on fire after that loss to New Orleans.
Homer.
They're going to Tampa Bay.
Homer.
Tampa Bay ain't doing nothing.
Homer.
Greg Schiano's going to be fired in 2 weeks.
Homer.
Arizona.
You're a homer too.
It's a solid pick.
Look. And then my third one is Dallas and San Diego.
Carson Palmer
High
versus
scoring game.
Reeves. I'm taking Reeves all day.
One guy. Go away from him.
Is Carson that smart? When has he been that smart?
Anyone that good? Like
Carson Palmer's that smart?
to not throw it at Darrell Reeves?
Carson Palmer.
Everybody in the league's that smart.
Carson Palmer's going to throw at least one.
Oh, no. You know why? Because Fitz is going to tell him, like, no, I don't care if it's Darrell.
Yeah, but he's going to throw one. And somebody, like he threw one last week. He's going to throw that bad ball.
Dallas and San Diego play both offenses. No defense are going to play. Dallas is going to win, but you're going to get some points off of both offenses.
Julio Jones.
That's an every week play.
To a point, but this week specifically goes Julio Jones, not Roddy, but him. To go with your point with the whole Philly thing, Denver's D.
Denver's D is underrated, period.
Yes.
They have speed all over the place.
Well, they're going to be on the field a lot. Both defenses are going to be on the field a lot because Payton likes to go quick. Philly likes to go quick.
Feel you.
These guys are going to be on the field.
Underrated pickup in the offseason. DRC balling.
Yep. And Brian Hoyer and Jordan Cameron.
Jordan Cameron, yeah. Jordan Cameron's the truth. I don't know where he's been, what they've been doing with him, but this kid seems he's like Jimmy Graham North. Like, he's balling. All right. Don't forget the buys this week. Panthers and Packers. So if you got them, sit them. Don't want to talk about the picks from last week. I don't even want to get into it. Let's jump right in it. San Francisco and St. Louis.
San Fran.
They got to finally show up. They got to be sick of just getting.
Speaking of coaches, Jeff Fisher going to fix St. Louis, or do he get the opportunity to bring in his own quarterback?
No, that's what's going to happen.
Bring in his own quarterback.
Sam Bradford is soft. He's being interviewed right now. He's being tested.
And my defensive rookie of the year looks pretty good, but my offensive one is a hot mess. Where the devil is Tavon Austin? Can we put out a APB on Tavon Austin?
He had one good week.
He had one okay week.
It was okay for fantasy points.
He's Devin Hester. He's Dante Hall. He's that.
Ooh. Dante Hall, don't go like that. Well, Dante Hall had that one great year and then disappeared.
When you say that, it means a waste of a first round draft.
Yeah, that's true. Baltimore, Buffalo.
Baltimore.
I want to pick Buffalo.
Yeah, I don't.
But, I gave it to the Ravens defense. Since they gave up 7 touchdowns in the first week, they haven't given up any more. So, I'll go with the Ravens.
I'll go with the Ravens, too.
Cincinnati and Cleveland.
Cincy. No, take the back. I'll go Cleveland just because Brian Hoyer and Cameron Jordan.
Good Lord. Okay, yeah. Chicago or Detroit?
Chicago,
but don't expect a lot of points in this game.
I'm going with Chicago. I still ain't figured out Jay Cutler. I think he's getting too much praise for the way he's been playing. Giants at Kansas City.
Kansas City.
KC all day.
They're not going to make the mistake.
Pittsburgh and Minnesota.
I'm going Minnesota.
Pittsburgh.
Whoever has the least turnovers.
Of course.
I know that's hedging. No, I'm going with the Steelers. Arizona, Tampa Bay.
Arizona.
I want to go with Tampa Bay, but they got this coach, and I just
Arizona. 14.
Indianapolis at Jacksonville.
Indianapolis.
Indy, but I think it's going to be closer than people think.
Because, like I said, they're going to have a problem with keeping that high going.
Seattle at Houston.
Seattle.
Houston final.
Jets at Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I'm taking the Jets. Don't trust Jake Locker for nothing.
But he trusts Geno Smith.
Another thing.
Philadelphia at Denver. I don't trust Geno
Denver.
Smith. I trust Rex Ryan at defense.
Denver.
Denver all day. Dallas at San Diego.
Dallas.
San Diego.
Dallas. Oh, by the way, they'll start calling for Mike Vick's job after this Denver loss, as if it's his fault. Washington at Oakland.
Washington.
I'm gonna go Oakland.
RG3 figures it out. They get the W. New England at Atlanta.
Atlanta.
New England. Belichick factor.
Oh wow, in Atlanta. Their non-receiver having.
You know what? Belichick and Brady, you got me. I'm going with New England. Because
y'all can lose together.
Matt Ryan, I just ain't trusting him. Even though last week was Harry Douglas' fault in that fumble.
Yeah.
Did you see him get rock bottom and go to sleep? Good Lord. Good God Almighty. Miami at New Orleans.
I'm actually gonna take Miami.
Oh yeah, I'm taking Miami.
In the dome?
Yeah, I'm taking Miami.
New Orleans, for whatever reason, the offense is not running like it used to a couple years ago.
They too mean. New Orleans,
But
Miami.
Rob Ryan's got that defense playing better. I'm going to go with New Orleans. Again, buys this week, Green Bay and Carolina. Hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, hit us up on Twitter at BigDaddie6.
And dancing with LB. Dancing with LB.
Good God Almighty. And he still ain't got one. We're out. Have a good one.